the Oldhim matchup here. Oldham's a little bit more challenging of a hero due to his nature to fatigue, primarily, considering we're on a very similar strategy in terms of getting better card value per card than most other heroes. We have to play Anathos because otherwise we get fatigued, yeah, very easily because of it. He's on an Earthlore Bounty Crown of Dominion build. Looks to be a little aggressive, so we'll try to take advantage of that. Trying to pull some cards out of our deck that are not as valuable, that we don't want in the deck, such as Blessing of Deliverance. We can create a Surge here and also swing Anathos. We don't get to Arsenal like a valuable card because we could have played Sigil there. But I think just simply taking cards out of his deck is most beneficial. And this matchup oftentimes comes down to swinging hammer more frequently than your opponent. So he's going to staunch us, take one. So that's one staunch out of the deck. We used one card, technically two cards. He's on a very similar game plan here. He's going to create a Surge from his Earthlore Bounty. We do have a lot more block on our equipment. Technically the chess pieces block the same, but we get two more block on our head. And he's on Sledge, so that should be pretty interesting. We want to get the best value out of our cards. And disable, I think, gives us the best value. So we will block with Debilitate and take 3 or potentially 10. That life is not too big of an issue if he pummels here. I'd actually be pretty happy if he pummels. We can swing Hammer a little bit more reliably than he can because he doesn't have Tunic, so he has to pitch 2 cards or come up with extra resources from Blessing of Deliverance. I imagine he's on all 6 of them, which means that he has 6 more cards that don't have attack values on them. We're just going to Tech Plating, Hammer for 6. We're going to show and threaten Pummel with an Arsenal. Not that it does much. Who joined here? Oh, well, we were recording a Yoji video because Steven wanted it. So.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if how the sound will come. I think your sound will come through on the video, but it doesn't matter to me. It's a battle of fatigue and grind, so it's a long one. We just started, so it's going to be probably another 12 to 20 minutes, depending on how fast he plays. He's probably got some sort of dominated attack, I would imagine. Oh, he is going for the cash-in play. If we can get through this turn without too much terrible damage, I think we're alright. Because this is what he lives for. This turn plus the turn following, because he has Earthlore Bounty. So he's playing a Crown Oldhim with Earthlore Bounty. I've seen the one cash in, a Blessing of Deliverance. Here is his Oakenold. He is going to fuse with a Polar Blast and an Autumn's Touch. So it's 9 Dominate, and theoretically he could have Pummel as well. We cannot block 9 and also have the defense reaction. This is just putting cards to the bottom, which is not too bad for me. That's interesting. The Pummel is obviously what I'm mostly worried about, actually. I could block it clean for 9 if he doesn't have the Pummel. I can't block it cleanly, actually. Well, I can block it cleanly. I can block it cleanly with the equipment. This is one of his mini dominate attacks, so we'll try. We'll sink the rouse. Oh, he didn't have it. So we now get to rouse. Oh, that was terrible pitch stacking. That's fine. It's okay. There are worse things in the world. I can just stack the rouse second. There is the majority of his equipment blocks. So he's coming back at us hard. Want that. Yeah, I think we're fine. Tear into... Ooh, that's pretty good. So for 10. Well, lo and behold, we got him. Oh, crap. Ah, Jesus Christ. Whatever, I won't. That's so bad, though. I'll just own my mistake of Talishar. The most important thing is us to get Tome into Arsenal there. We get our Pummel play, and we haven't drawn any CNCs, so there's a really strong likelihood that we're going to draw a CNC with Pummel off this Tome play. So as long as he doesn't have some like extreme disruption for us, whenever we activate an ability, we get a Frostbite. So we'll get a Frostbite from Major Master Boots. We'll still have 2 left over to play Tome. I think if he doesn't have Pummel here, I think we're okay. And even if he does have Pummel, I think we're still okay. Does he have the Pummel? He has the Pummel. So we're going to discard a Buckling Blow. So we'll get a Frostbite from that. We'll draw 2 more cards. Oh, those draws were pretty atrocious. Darn. We'll get a Frostbite from this, and we'll swing Hammer here, getting a Frostbite, and we'll have 1 to pay for the sigil. Just finally had a block with some cards, that's good. Our card counts are close. I think I'm 1 ahead of him right now, because he's had to use Cash In. And then we play Sigil. We want to disable that. So he's got his Blessing. He's gonna swing the Sledge for 6, most likely. He has 3 block. He has 3 block on his equipment. He'd have to have a defense reaction to take this hammer. I could pummel it as well, so if he did draw the defense reaction, so I could do that. Is it better for me just to... That is part of the issue right now, is that if I can pummel this hammer to 10, block for 3 and pummel the hammer to 10, and Arsenal the Unmovable. I think that's my easiest and best line. It's a pretty well telegraphed pummel to 10. That does threaten lethal, so he does have to think about it. I keep my Terror in the deck, which is important. Oh, I guess I could have created a surge there. Darn, missed that. I have potential back-to-back defense reactions in Arsenal with a CNC to follow. Would have been nice for that CNC to come with the pummel, but such is life sometimes. So I can clean block the sledge with my unmovable and Arsenal my staunch and give him a CNC, which I think is the easiest flow of cards. This forces him to give me 2 cards, and it sets me up for good late game plays with Staunch. So he's probably going to give me all of his, I assume he's going to give me all of his equipment plus a card, because he probably wants to keep his arsenal. Either way, it's good for me because I still have both of my Terrace Unders. It just gives me 2 cards. That is a fantastic trait for me. Especially getting an Autumn's Touch and a Matcha out of the deck. Keeps his Tear and his Spinal. Yeah, that's a really rough draw as all reds. That is pretty atrocious, to be honest. So I can't maneuver anything around right now. So we're just going to Fate, blocking the most damage with 1 card. We can bottom that for now, because we want some blues down there with these reds that we're going to send. Got an E-Strike with a Thunderquake. I would rather be swinging Hammer in these mid stages of the game, in all honesty. But this does get some valuable cards out of his deck. Channel and Blessings. Any Blessings out of his deck are good, especially while he still has Earth Lore. Yep, it's all pitch deck. I haven't seen that first old Oaken. I actually just want to give him Buckling Blow, take 3, and then send significant damage over him to take more cards out of his deck. All while he's not threatening disruption. I imagine that he has Oaken in Arsenal right now. I only see the blue and red Blessings. Card count is, he's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 24, 24 to my 20. And I'm out of equipment. So he's ahead on the equation currently. But he's at less life and facing 10 damage too. So I think it forces him to give me 2 cards for sure. I think he's considering 3, but if he gives me 3 cards, he can't swing his sledge. And that's really important to him. Otherwise, he just takes a turn out of taking cards out of my deck. I think he's in a weird spot right now. He has a Staunch still left in the deck. I don't think he's on Sinks or Fates. Chooses to give me his equipment and a card and take 5 damage to 3 to keep a 4-card hand. I think he has to realize I have a defense reaction in Arsenal. You would think, at least. He's gonna play a Tome, pitching a So tomorrow. Okay. Gets his 3 surges. Does he have enough in the tank to second cycle me down? That's gonna hit his second cycle a little quicker than mine. I do have 11 life to give here. So if he doesn't present any disruption, I will throw 13 damage his way. Yeah, he's setting up for a big turn. Possibly a fused Oakenold, but he's digging to his second cycle really quickly. A little scary. I have some relatively good answers. Question is can he present more than 6 damage? Most he can give me is 10 here with a pummel. And I think that him having to block 13 damage is not going to be fun. And I believe that will... I think that'll do him in. If he pummels, it's fine here, but he didn't. So he's got to give me 2 cards or a card in his bounty, but then past that, he's got to give me even more. And I think that he's going to sink into oblivion because his surges are going to go waste relatively, unless he's able to keep the singular card that he needs. Yeah, he realizes the bounty's no good to him anymore. He's got another staunch. Oh, using his pulse here. Okay. I do thread and pummel. I have had that arsenal for a very long time. Ooh, he risked it, which is fine. Sending the macho for 8 dominate. Well, I would like to block this differently than I have to, because that is really, really unfortunate for how my cards lined up at the bottom of my deck. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I can block with Blessing and Staunch for 8, and then Hammer for 4. Taking 2 cards out of his hand? Yeah, that's probably the best. And then he just can only swing Hammer by pitching 2 cards from now on. I think he's in a world of hurt over there. Yep. Tome and Blessing. Sledging for 6. I think we'll give him Imposing and a Disable. We'll give him the old, as Sean would like to call it, 1-2 buckle my shoe with the tech plating into a Nothos threatening pummel. And he looks at my graveyard and he realizes there's only one. Well, there's only one in the deck. He can't play around it, so he just had to give me 2-3 blocks. But thing about Oldhim, he's got a bunch of 2 blocks. There's those terrace unders that I want to see blocked with. Yeah, he's got to block with that second Oldhim. He realizes all of his win conditions are slowly being eliminated from his deck. And here is the grand play. We can actually even keep... We can keep our sink in our arsenal just in case something crazy happens. Bada bing, bada boom. Unless he's got the staunch. He could have the staunch here. Nope, doesn't have the staunch. And that is how Yoji makes opponents leave before they even say GG. Thank you for watching my Yoji instructional video.